Coaches got a fantastic guest tonight. Lonnie Cox is the head football coach at Fairmont High School in North Carolina. Lonnie's been on the channel before, talking about quick game. And tonight he's talking about different ways to run the tunnel screen. And I've got it from multiple guys who have played against Lonnie. Lonnie's one of the best tunnel screen guys in the state. Really does a high level elite job with the tunnel screens. And buddy, I appreciate you coming back on, and can't wait to hear you teach how to throw these things, buddy.
Well, Coach Salas, I'm always thankful that you allow me to get on here and share my love for the game of football. All right, so guys, this was my first season at Union Pines. This was our first scrimmage of the year against Westover High School, a really good football team out of Fayetteville who won 10 games this year. But we come out and empty in this scrimmage just to see what kind of look we'll get. And I call tunnel screen to the left here. Now, before I play this, I want to talk about my front side concept. For whatever reason, my guys don't do a great job of this right here. What I was trying to do at the top of the screen is I wanted my number 3 receiver to run a bubble. I wanted my number 2 guy here to run a 10-yard out, and I wanted my number 1 receiver up here to run a more fade. Now, if you guys are around football as much as I am, and Coach Salas saying, you would know that would create a flood concept where you put the flat defender in a bind. But nonetheless, it's going to cause all 3 of these defenders on that side of the football to flow oppositely of where we're trying to throw the tunnel. We don't do a great job of that here. It leads to a young man being able to a young man from Westover being able to make a tackle near the goal line. If we just move him 2 steps the opposite direction, 19 probably scores the first play of the scrimmage right here. I also don't think my slot receiver right here does a good enough job of pressing vertical through the 3rd steps of the number 1 receiver, which is what we're teaching our slot receiver, and almost allows the defender over him to be able to jump the tunnel screen. But this is a pretty one. I think my quarterback Roy Board here does a great job of catching the football, concept, flip hips ball. I think my receiver down here, Jacob Bobless, who ended up making All-State this season, I think he does a great job of getting an outside release, 1, 2, 3, banana path, get flat, get inside hips of the tackle. I think this is going to work out beautifully. And as you can see right there, guys, Jake, I'm going to run this back, and you kind of see Jacob right here. He's off to the races the first play. I want to go back. I want you to watch this thing in slow motion. Well, I don't know if it'll let me watch it. I'm going to stop it. It's not going to let me do that. I'll rerun it over and over again and let you watch. It's showing me a black screen whenever I try to stop it and put it through slow motion. But watch this right here. Jake is going to get just inside the hip of number 75 right there, who was releasing. He's going to get his shoulder square and vertical, and he's going to explode downfield. Now, one thing I got on to Jacob about when we were watching film the following day is I was like, Jacob, son, you were going to go score a touchdown. Why in the world are you looking for anybody running behind you? You should have got your eyes vertical, and you should have been trying to find that left front pylon and get there. So watch Jacob right here. He does everything right, but he gets here till about the 40-yard line, and he just starts turning around looking for who's around him. Tell your receivers in that situation, man, you're the man in space right here. You're the man with the football. You control your own destiny. Get to the end zone. Don't worry about who's behind you. Hold that football high and tight, just like you're taught in Indy drills. Don't let them knock it loose, and just try to go find the end zone. I want to run this thing back one more time. If number 8 down here at the bottom of the screen had bubbled, if number 2 had run a 10-yard out, if number 1 had run a more fade, this safety who is going to end up getting back on the play, he's probably not able to get there if we move him 2 steps in the opposite direction. You're going to see some more film clips where we're going to go score a touchdown because that DB had moved 2 steps in another direction, and even with him taking his best pursuit angle, he just couldn't get back into the play. So you just got to teach your kids here, man. You got to be a great car salesman if you can get a defender moving 2 steps in the other direction of where the play is going, that can cause a play to be successful in itself. Like I said about formations earlier, like I said, Coach Gould has really put this in my head. Plays don't beat you, but formations do. We ran our first tunnel screen out of empty right there. So now people are trying to figure out, man, what's he going to do when he goes empty? But now I'm in what I call slot right, which is where I have an H-back on one side. I have twins on the other, and a split to the same side as the H-back. And I'm just running a bunch of different formations. Right here, I think I've called a snag concept to the front side, which is where my H-back here, he's going to arc release. He's going to get to about 10 or 12 yards, and he's going to work to the corner. My number one receiver down here is going to run a snag concept, and my back is going to swing opposite. So when you look at the front side of this play, it's snag. We're forcing all the defenders on that side of the field to have to honor that, and we're throwing tunnel back on the other side of the field. So as you guys can see, we're running snag on this front side. Had we chosen to run snag instead of tunnel, my number 7 receiver down here, he's going to come open because this flat defender is running immediately to the swing. He's not dropping into the curl zone. He's running immediately to the flats. So number 7 right here, keep looking. He's going to come open in this window between the hook to curl guy and the curl to flat guy. I hope everybody can see that. I'm gonna run through it slowly again. Rory's catching the football. My H-back is running the corner. My number 1 receiver is running the snag. If we call this play, it's going to be a successful play. We're going to complete this snag route. We're probably going to get vertical and get 5 yards. But now we've forced all of these defenders to have to flow opposite of where we're actually throwing the football. I feel like 19 Jacob right here does a great job. Guys, look at this. Look at this. This matches up exactly with what I told you. Jacob is doing a great job of getting vertical right off the hips of the left tackle who's responsible for the kick. And what we're telling our tackle there is make that guy run underneath you. Don't let him beat you over the top. If he runs underneath you, there's no way he can take a good enough pursuit angle to get back in this place unless we have a slow receiver catching this football. And you never, ever, 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 ever in the Bible of tunnel screens won't throw a tunnel screen to a slow receiver. Get it to a kid who can run, who can go get vertical in space. So just want to go slow motion through this again. Feel like my quarterback Rory does a great job of catching this concept. Look at his eyes. He's looking at the snag concept. He's forcing those defenders to have to flow opposite, and then he just flips his hips. Throws his screen to Bobliss. Bobliss catches this thing, gets his shoulder square to vertical behind the left tackle, kicking, and he goes and picks up 7-8 yards. I'm gonna run this back, guys. I got to do a better job of coaching my linemen to be great blockers in space. You see 2 linemen right there, right? Center does a pretty good job of getting eyes back on number 11 right there. But if 69 gets vertical in the alley and he blocks this safety who's going to make the tackle, we may go score a touchdown right there. Tunnel screen's a great football play. That's why I'm on here tonight talking about it. You got to execute right there. Got to make that block, 69. That's what he's being coached up in the film room. I want to come back to this one right here. This is a rollout tunnel screen. This was against that well-coached West Brunswick team that we played in the playoffs, where the tackle becomes the kick guy instead of the slot receiver. I'm gonna write this film clip down and I'm gonna come back to it so I can explain that way you guys get to see the difference. I'm gonna move forward. This right here is the bubble tunnel screen I'm talking about. I will come back to this one as well because it's a little bit of a different variation. Let's keep moving forward. There's another W pump. Okay, so right here, guys. So I've shown you 2 basic tunnel screens out of where your slot receiver is responsible for the kick. Your slot receiver, when you're using motion, can still be responsible for getting number 1, which is where he goes and kicks the number 1 guy, which is normally the corner, and then your tackle's responsible for number 2. Like I said, plays don't beat people, formations do. If you look at my formation right here, this is my second season at Union Pines. We're playing against a very well coached Harnett Central team, and we're in what I call RAM, which is true tight end trips. Guys use this formation all the time because they're trying to add an extra gap that you've got to defend. So we put RAM to the boundary right here, which is gonna leave Ethan Biggs, who's the freshman All-State receiver I was telling you guys about, down here at the bottom of the screen. Now, one thing I will tell you here, this is a little detail. I really wish Ethan was on top of the number right here. If Ethan's on top of the number, he's gonna force this corner to have to space out even more, which is going to create more space for him to run this tunnel screen and get in space. Little details matter so much in running these types of plays. I'm going to show you a play later on where we're in 2x2 and we throw a tunnel screen, and if my receiver lines up on the top of the number like he's taught to do, he probably goes and scores a touchdown because the whole middle of the field opens up. But the one thing that we really drill in our kids is, before a play starts, you got to make sure your spacing's right, because if your spacing's not right, it won't allow the play to be as successful as it could be. Nonetheless, it's third down right here. It's 3rd down and 5. We're going to move to change. Everything is good at UP, but Ethan Biggs, he's a great athlete. He could have scored a touchdown right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this. We're going to put the slot receiver in motion. He's going to motion across the field to go block the corner, who is 1. The tackle still responsible for 3, or the kick. The guard is responsible for 3 in the alley, and the center is going to be responsible for 4, or anything coming across the middle of the field. And if you guys will look here, we put Mason in motion. I wish Micah would wait a little bit more right here. Micah Monahan, he's a great kid, great quarterback for me at Union Pines. What I'm teaching Micah as the quarterback right here is to snap this football when the jet guy gets in between number 1 and the tackle. And I think Micah snaps it a little bit early here, which allows him to read the play a little bit better. I think Micah does a pretty good job of catching the ball, still looking concept ball. As you guys can see, looking on the front side of the screen, even though we're in RAM, even though we're in a different formation, my tight end's releasing. He's got the corner route. My number 1 receiver at the bottom of the screen is running the snag, and my back is running the swing. We're making all those defenders over there 32, 11. It looks like we're making all those guys have to defend the front side of the field. So naturally, it takes them out of the play. You guys are watching this right now, like I'm watching it. I basically see 3 of my guys and 2 of their guys, and we simply don't block them correctly. If we stay on our blocks, 14 probably goes and scores right here. But nonetheless, good football play. We move the chains. We get the first down. Most importantly, we give our offense a chance to stay on the field. The kid that I was showing you right there, Ethan Biggs, Ethan's dad coached with me at Union Pines. He's a great man, great supporter. And I had the pleasure of meeting Ethan when he was an 8th grader at New Century Middle School, which is right down from Union Pines High School. And Ethan was a true running back, guys. Ethan, all everybody talked about in the community was how great of a running back Ethan was going to be. And I still think Ethan's going to be a great running back. I think Ethan's going to be great at whatever it is he decides to do, because he's a hard worker and he's just a great athlete and he comes from a great family. But I had a little bit of a different plan for Ethan. I knew that Ethan was a dynamic athlete. I knew that he was a very good player in space more than he was anything else. And I told his dad one day, I said, "Hey man," I said, "a lot of people want to talk about what this kid's going to look like running tall sweep, running counter." I said, "But I want to talk about what he might look like running a tunnel screen." And I think the very first one Ethan ever called at Burlington comes in his first game. He took it 35 yards to the house, and I have a clip of that. And I don't think there was any more selling to do. And like I said, Ethan went on to make All-State as a freshman. So what I'm telling all you coaches out there is just find a really fast, dynamic space athlete on your football team and run tunnel screen with him. I promise you that kid nor this play is going to disappoint you, because it's proven over and over again that you can be really successful running this play. Now,